Welcome to my live stream today. Right. I'm a single mom who no one is seeking for a meaningful relationship. How can I find love? Someone is asking, how can I find love? Doesn't matter who, a man or a woman can be single for a long time. So today I just want to spell a few things that you need to know before you get yourself into another relationship, or if you have been single for a long time, but you are a mother or you are a father, you're now trying to go back and find a love again. How can one do this? I'm going to be very short and brief and see how I can help someone who is now looking for love and trying to get into a relationship. The one thing that one needs to understand is going back into finding love again can be challenging for those people who have been single for a long time and have got children. Because one thing that for sure is you need to know how to take care of those children and how they'll be taken care of while you get into another relationship. So there's a lot that we need to know, and why you should also make note of these things. Otherwise, you will be lost again. So, one, how long have you been single, and why have you been single? Sometimes, let's say you have not been married before, but now you are thinking, well, I'm probably I've got a child. Mostly, when we talk of children, there are always mothers who are into these issues, like having a child before marriage. And then when you start looking for love again, you have a burden of a child. So it's one thing that you also need to look at this. How are you going to do this? How long have you been single? And now that you want to go to get into a relationship, what kind of a person are you looking for, and your reasons to go into that relationship? Because so many times we do forget to check on this and ask questions to the people that we meet. So since you'll not be meeting people that, and those men that you meet, they are not serious, they are not even looking into a question of them getting married or settling down, we might put it that way. So if that happens, then you need to know that you are going to have to vet. You have to do a vetting on the men that you are going to go out with and why you should go out with that person. Long time ago, we never used to look at these things. We never used to check or ask questions. But now, this generation which is there today, you need to ask questions which are valuable, which means that you are not going to get into a relationship and then 2 days you are out. So it's one thing that you need to know: ask questions, keep asking, know this person well, and find out who this person is and how safe are you with him. Is he stable enough to take care of you? And if you have got a child, is he stable enough? Is he going to agree to take care of your child as you get into a relationship with him? And also, have you healed from the past? Let's say you had a child with someone who said, "Oh, I'll marry you," and then you end up not getting married to that person. Have you healed from the trauma of you being made pregnant or falling pregnant for someone who was not even prepared to settle with you? Have you healed from that trauma? And are you now in a position to work with the person who you are going to meet? So it's one of those things that you need to really make sure you are aware of. And also, if you have been married, now you are trying to get into a meaningful relationship, what is happening with you? You need to be self-contented yourself, you need to make sure that you are now in a position of moving on, and you are not going to look backwards and think, oh, maybe I should have gone to the previous person because he was better than this one. Before you even make a decision to go into a relationship, are you sure this is what you want? If you healed from the past trauma, you are now ready to work with the next person that you are going to find in this relationship. Have you recognized as well about your children? How are they going to be taken care of? Are you going to go with your children in the next relationship that you are actually embarking on? Or you are going to say, no, I'll have to leave my children somewhere. And who is that person you are going to entrust your child with? Because that's where a lot of problems comes, especially when you've got children. And it's not as easy as ABC when I look at the way we struggle, and also for the child that is going to be left with someone, or for the child who's going to go with you to the next relationship. There's a numerous ways and problems that actually rises from looking after that child. You might leave the child with someone and that person doesn't really do like what you should do yourself. Remember, a child is yours, and whatever the child does, unless you are there on the ground to see what is happening with your child, you'll miss a lot. And for someone to tell you exactly what is wrong with the child, or or something is not going right, then the person that is looking after your child might not be there to say this is what is happening. So it's always an issue. Hence, you see a lot of people staying single for a long time without getting married, because they really struggle with this. And as much as it is easy with our counterparts, our man can move on and even get married and even have children again on the next marriage. But a lot of women, they stay in the same scenario that they cannot move on. It's not that they are not feeling the heat that they should get married, but it's because they have children. Now that you are ready and you have answered yes to all the questions that I've just posed on you, are you now able to get into a relationship and start looking? And how are you going to look into this relationship? Who are you looking at? What are the provisions that you are looking for in the new relationship? Because there's a lot that we need to really look at ourselves as women and also as men, because this is not a single thing for man and then for women. No, it's almost the same thing. You are now getting into a new relationship. What is it that you are prepared to do in this relationship? Are you now a person who has been hurt before, but now you are going to be someone who's going to stay with someone and also be workable with? Because this is where we find issues many times. You have told yourself, I want to work with someone, and then at the end of the day, you are not happy to work with that person, and then things go start going backwards again and forward. So a lot of us women, we do not think these are issues at all. There's no one who would prepare to get into a marriage or into a relationship today, and then tomorrow you move out. It's not as healthy. When you get into a relationship, you are at a position where you are telling yourself you are ready, and you are ready also to work with whoever you have chosen. How can you know that the person that you have chosen is the right person? What is it that you are looking at for this marriage or for this relationship? One, you have got to be yourself first, so that you will be able to work with someone. You have got to be uh, add value to your life before you move on to the next relationship. Because if you are not, someone is going to take advantage of you, because you are not in a position of power. A lot of us women will just think, if I meet a man today, tomorrow I should move in, and then at the end of the day, you end up not happy. Are you in a position where you have asked questions? Remember what Bob Marley said. I think it's no, it was not Bob Marley who sang this song. Take time to know her. It was Percy Sledge. Take time to know her. Take time to know him. because you end up not getting into a relationship with someone who you have not really vetted. So start vetting, find out who this person is. Take your time, go into the circles. I always would like to remind the young ones or us as women, do not go across borders looking for relationships, because at the end of the day, distant relationships have never worked. And this hence we find they are scammers and everything. And also remember, distant relationship will always give you complications because you don't know who is behind the line that you are talking to this person. So it's better off looking in your area, find out who this person is. 5 miles from where you live, 10 miles from where you live, 30 miles from where you live, you'll be able to go and find out who this person is. So, a lot of us women, we don't do these things. Also, when you meet the new person, do not jump into bed with a new person that you do not know. There's a lot of things that happens. There's a lot of diseases. You need to know who this person is before you jump yourself into a bed with someone who you have just met today. Know who this person is. Go for tests. It's possible. Check who his life is. He a person that is going to give you issues within a few minutes or a few years down the lane? You need to know all those things. Is he healthy? Is she also a healthy person to move in your life with? And also, is he also financially stable? And are you also in a position where you bring something to the table? Because life as it is these days, people, they work. So are you in a position where this man will take advantage of you and start pushing you around because you have got into a relationship with nothing, and you have nothing to give even into onto the table? Remember, love is something that happens like this. He will come and tell you, "Oh, I want to marry you," and then if you he bombards you with all the presents, flowers, "I love you, I love you, I love you," love bombing and everything. And within the next few years, that love is gone, and he starts taking charge of your life. Take your whether he bought you a car when you met, whether he bought you an expensive watch, an expensive bracelet, an expensive necklace, he starts taking those things so that you feel the heat, that now if he goes, what am I going to do? So you are going back again to be a single mother. And sometimes you'll have had children again added to whatever you had in the first place. So make sure you, when you get into a relationship this time, you have made up your mind and you've worked and vetted this person thoroughly to know how and how he works, and also ask questions: who he is, what will happen tomorrow. And a lot of women as well, we sort of think, if I meet someone today who says, "I love you, I love you," I think it's going to be like that tomorrow. No, love is something that vanishes as soon as you get into the blankets together, it's gone. Because man are visual people who look at a woman and then they admire, "Oh, I love this woman, she's big, she's what," and then visually he falls for you, and once he gets into bed with you, it's done. And then the next thing, that the love that he was talking of, is gone. One thing you should know is, you get into a relationship with someone who respects you, someone who add value to your life, someone who always want to check how you are feeling, someone who will protect you, someone who will make sure you are not abused. He doesn't abuse you. He doesn't use the wrong words like putting you down. You are nothing. You came here with nothing. This will happen because you have gone into a relationship before. You knew exactly what you wanted, and you've asked the right questions. So before you get into any relationship, please vet your next person so that you do not repeat the same mistake again. And if you had a child out of marriage before, you are not going to get into bed with this next person and end up with another child again out of marriage. So it's always easy, not very easy, but it's always important that you check who the next person you are talking about love with, and who you are talking about getting into a relationship. I think that's the best thing. So this is my topic of today. I'll keep on talking and find out exactly where you are. Find out where you are. What is it that you want in the next relationship? What was it with the previous relationship? And have you healed from the previous relationship? Otherwise, you'll keep on turning and going in circles in your life, and you will be having children each time. Thank you.